Well, good evening, everyone. How you doing today? I'm Virgil, the Rockwell Urban Gardener, and it's the last weekend in September. Looks like we got October, November, and December left in this whole year, about 90 days or so. So getting ready to kind of end the 2025 garden season. Last week or so, I think I said something about I was going to talk to you about raised beds, metal raised beds in particular. I bought that one, and I got one on the end. And back this way, I got two here. Thing with these raised beds is it depends on how much, I guess it's how much you give for them, and you get what you pay for, as they say. But this one here is easy bent. Let me show you. And I've seen some videos on some of them that was rusted through, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me get up here on this one right here. See the screw right there is rusty, because it's like they're all rusting, and that could be a problem later on. But these are some of my raised beds. A thing I've noticed, and I don't know if any of y'all using metal raised beds noticed that it might just be me, but I noticed that the plants don't grow quite as good as they do like in this wooden raised bed. It costs a little bit to build it, but seems like the plants do a lot better. And again, that might be me, may not be nothing wrong with the metal raised bed to begin with, but this one here, I've probably had, this one you're looking at probably the longest, but it's still having some of the same issues. The bolts are rusting. I don't see where the sides are rusting in on it yet, but anyway, I mean, for the money, I guess you're doing all right if you're buying these raised beds, and because they can save you some money because you don't have to mess with them year over year, but eventually somewhere down the road you're going to have to replace them. And this raised bed here, I bought it at the same time I bought that other one I was showing you. And I've had both of them about 3 years, and I don't notice them rusting out anywhere, but I still have the same. I think the metal itself, I don't know, it's because in the summer around here it gets real hot, and I don't know if that metal's heating up, and it heats up the metal and heats up your soil and don't allow it to cool off or something. But anyway, I got them, and I'm going to try to grow in them, but probably the wood raised bed may be a better choice in the long run if you can afford to build them. If you can't, metal raised beds is okay. But for me, I think that there can be some issues with them as far as growing plants and all out. But anyway, the other week, like I said, I thought I'd bring it up and I'd talk to you about it a little bit. But I've had raised beds that I built out of wood, mostly 2 by 4 foot, and they seem to do a lot better growing things because you're not using quite as much soil and nutrients and stuff all like that all in one time. But you can do several different plants and not have to kind of push them into one space like this right here. This one right here, now if you'll notice, look at how this raised bed is built. But if you notice the metal on the ends, especially this one over here, is kind of shinier, but the one in the middle looks like, you know, how galvanized looks when moisture starts to get to it. If you look on the inside, starting to do the same thing. I'm wondering if the moisture ain't getting to the galvanized metal and it's starting to deteriorate. That's the reason the color's changed on it. But anyway, I think there's a lot to be said for metal raised beds. I mean, you know, they make some nice ones that's got different kind of coat stuff on them. But I guess where you draw the line. Well, you know, as far as the raised beds go, whether it be metal or wood, make the right choice for yourself. I don't know if you're using metal raised beds or not, or raised beds in particular. But anyway, I found years ago I started into this gardening where you raise beds and all, and you built quite a few 2 by 4 foot raised beds. It's 2 foot long, wide, and 4 foot long. With I think there was about 6 or 10 inches deep. And those little raised beds grew a lot of produce and things, tomatoes and cucumbers and whatever. But that's what I'm gonna go back to while we're shut down for the garden season. I'm gonna build some 2 by 4 foot raised beds out of wood and see what we come up with. I'm gonna go back to that kind of growing things in raised beds. I'm still gonna use my metal ones, but I'm gonna do a comparison and see if there's any kind of difference between how plants grow in a metal bed rather than a wood bed. But in the ground, you know, I've grown some things, but I'd rather be using a raised bed if we can. Makes gardening a whole lot easier. But anyway, that's just a thought that I had about these metal raised beds, and get figured out if they worth it or not. Or for some folks, I'm sure they are. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to growing some crops in a 4 by 2 raised bed and see how that works out. But anyway, that's gonna be my video for today. Until I talk to you the next time, hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day.